Hello, welcome to Miniature Realms. My name is Stuart, and welcome to vlog number 4 in my Warlord Games Epic Battles Napoleonic Waterloo series. So it's been a couple of weeks since I last recorded one of these. The kits are out with everyone now, so it's been officially launched, or after the launch date. Things are available in the shops. Most people received their orders, depending on where you are in the world. Some people are still waiting on theirs, and it's been lovely to see everyone building their kits and starting to get painting and things, and it won't be long before there's many people with loads more stuff than I've painted in the meantime. Now you can hear my voice is probably a little bit croaky. The COVID has finally caught up with the Mac household, so we've been all locked up together in the house for a few days now, and we've got a few more days left. At least I definitely have a few more days of isolation left as well. Not too poorly, but it's definitely slowed some hobby progress down for multiple reasons, and having a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old in the house is a good enough reason, if any. So it has slowed my hobby down a little bit. I've not done the painting that I wanted to. I've stalled on doing two painting tutorials. I've been painting models, so I'll show some off in a moment. I have worked out the test scheme for the British Dragoons I'm doing. I just haven't recorded the actual tutorial, and as soon as my voice is fully recovered and I've got a little bit more time, because the painting tutorials do take a little bit more time to put together than a vlog video like this, I will get those tutorials out to you, because I know people are waiting on them. We'll talk a little bit more about that at the end in terms of future plans and stuff. So I have been shopping. The first part of the shopping I'll show you here. I did order the Hay Saint and the Sandpit and Barricade. They're little sort of extras. I didn't originally buy them with the bundles I got. I just got the standard army packs. I thought it was more than enough to be getting along with. But having decided that the Waterloo side of my project, so there's 2 sides, and if you're catching this as the first vlog, it's probably worth going and watching the previous vlog. So I'm doing a Peninsula project and a Waterloo project almost side by side, and for the Waterloo project I'm going to be focusing on the area around the Hay Saint. And we'll talk about more about that in future videos, but I thought, you know what, I want to pick it up. I had some medal vouchers, so it was only cost me effectively £20 by the time I spent those, and I picked up this as well, which is the Sandpit. Now I'm not going to do an unboxing for the Sandpit as a separate video, so I thought I'd just pop it out on the screen here. Really, it's a nice little resin piece. You don't need to buy the resin piece. You could make this yourself very easily from some sand and some MDF or some blue foam or something. But adding it to the order, I thought I'd just do it anyway, and it saves me a little bit of time. And you know what, it's quite cute. It's quite a nice little piece, and as the saying goes, with the Barricade there as well. So I'm pretty happy with those. I will do a separate video as a little bit more of a review of the Sarissa kits. I do like to do that, and that'll involve me building it, not on camera usually, and then showing off at the end, built, maybe even painted or so. But let me show you some of the other things I've been buying as well. So in terms of other purchases, I had some vouchers for Christmas, and this was reduced to about £30 on Amazon. I think normally like 50, 60 or something like that. And I've looked at it before, and I thought it'd be a really nice thing to own, and I wasn't disappointed. So I'm going to skip to one of the pages I've been using recently as an example, but just to sort of show you what you can expect in the book if you decide to pick it up yourself. Really nice sort of overview of the battle. It's not just all map. Then hopefully you can see there that the map itself is really pretty good. And I've been using this map extensively to work out my own scenario around the north here, the Battle of Vittoria, and around the conflict around Gramara Mayor and Abachuco, and again that's going to form quite a sort of chunk of this vlog update, because I've written the scenario for it now. So but really happy with the book. I'm not going to go through and review this book. That wouldn't be prudent on this video really. I don't think people are interested in that, but pick this up, and it's like that for every single battle in the peninsula. Incredibly detailed maps and campaign maps and things as well, and I think it's amazing, and I will be dipping into this over and over again. And that brings us, I suppose, nicely on to the planning for the Vittoria battle I've been doing. So just as a very brief recap for those of you who are maybe finding this for the first time and not seeing my other project vlogs, I like to have a bit of a goal when I start building armies rather than just sort of building a collection. I'm always quite, say, narrative focused, and in a historical war game I'm very kind of historically based, but in a loose way. I just like to have a bit of a goal to build my forces to. They don't have to be 100% accurate, but they need to be accurate enough that I'm happy, and it's only really about me being happy with it. But I love the Peninsular War, and I love the 100 Days as well. And this release is obviously based very much around the 100 Days, but I wanted to do something Peninsular as well. So I've been working on the idea of the Hay Saint area of Waterloo, maybe Erlon's attack. That's still to be finalised, and then the other battle I was going to work on was Vittoria. Now they're just starting points. I'm going to play loads of other games, different scenarios, made up ones, historical ones, but I like to have a battle I can pick, or an area of a battle that I can pick a division or two, and look at the order of battle, and then build some forces around them, and they basically become my painting list, and that's what it's all about. So that's it. Very, very quickly, really. So I've been working on the Battle of Vittoria, and you'll have seen in previous vlogs, those of you who've been following, I've been using different maps. I'm actually going to use a map from the book I've just showed you at the moment, and I'm focusing on the top area of the left wing, so Graham's left wing, and it focuses around the fighting around Gamara Mayor and Abachuco, and those are at the top of the screen there, and you can see that it kind of shows the movements of the units in the in Graham's division, or Graham's whole wing. There's two divisions in it. There's Howard's division and Oswald's division. There's two independent Portuguese brigades from Pack and Bradford, and then there's Anson and Box cavalry as well. And as part of that, there's Longa's Spanish. They are a little bit too far off the gaming table, so to speak, so they get cut out of my scenario. But anyway, so if I put up a different picture now, and that picture shows the kind of the area of the battle that I'm going to turn into my gaming table. I am making it very abstract. I mean, that's about 1.8 miles almost, maybe as far as 2, somewhere around there. And you know, my 6x4 table probably shouldn't stretch to 2 miles based on the frontage of the units in this game, but I'm going to squeeze it on if I can. As long as it looks there or thereabouts right, I'm happy with it. I know some people like to work to exact figure scales and to ground scales and things. I know there will be a ground scale there. I know that the towns will be too close together on my own table, but again, I want them both covered because I think it gives a bit more of a rounded scenario. So you can see that Graham's left wing splits a little bit and spreads between the two major towns there, or villages. So Gamara Mayor in front of the bridge, and then Abachuco, apologies for the pronunciations, and the as much as I'll be able to sort of obtain by reading different accounts and things, I can work out which parts of his wing go which way, and their aim was really to take those towns quickly and force their way across the bridge, and then pressure down to come down towards Vittoria from the north there. So you see, from that I've set up my gaming table. So that's a Sicily map from Geek Villain, which you've seen on previous videos. There's a river that I may replace, but it's a river strip from Deep Cut Studio, and there's a 10mm scale bridge, which isn't really wide enough for the stands, but probably best to scale. And then there's some Empire at War Spanish buildings, which I split to represent the two towns, and as you can see, they're obviously much too close together based on the map you've seen previously, but I'm going to go with it anyway. Then a few other odds and ends that you'd have seen in previous videos. It's slightly elevated towards the lighter side. You can't see it from the top down, but I took that picture knowing that I could turn that into a map rather than having to draw one. So there's a map all labelled up, and I'll just take you through what they are, and they're essentially going to be the starting positions. I'm not going to read out the full scenario I've written. I may make some changes yet, but I'll pop some things up on the screen a little bit later on as I'm rambling. But the green B is Bradford's Portuguese Brigade. The red A is Anson's Light Cavalry Brigade. The first there in red is Howard's 1st Division. The green P is Pack's Portuguese Brigade, and the red B is Bock's Heavy Dragoon Brigade of the King's German Legion. And then the 5th Division, which is Oswald's, is over to the other side. So the idea is that they will come on in column as they're marching towards the towns they have to take. So if you put them out in line, especially at the frontages of these models, they would easily fill the table twice over. So bringing them on in waves and in columns and things and getting them into position is a way of making the scenario work with this, a 6x4 table. Sorry if you can hear barking in the background. That's my neighbour's dog outside. So the 5th Division advanced on Gramara Mayor. You've got the 118th and 119th, which are part of the French 6th Division, were stationed in the town. I know they kind of defended the town really, and then you've got the rest of the 6th Division just on the north side of the river, so they will end up being deployed all the way along probably in defensive positions. You've got the blueberry there is Boyer's 2nd Cavalry Division. Now it's very hard from the accounts that I've seen and from the maps that are in that atlas to tell where they were used, so that they come on later in the game, but that'll be the position when they come on. And they each got the idea is that they could be used as partly a way of balancing the forces slightly. I'm not sure whether they were used as part of the defences. I'm trying to turn a section of a battle into a playable scenario as well, and trying to equalise the forces a little bit, because the British do outnumber the French, but the French have got those defensive positions there as well. And then you got the 4th Division there, that's Saru's division, and they were forced back towards Habachuco, and I like the idea that the divisions and the brigades that were forcing them back, so the 1st and both Portuguese brigades as well as Anson's light cavalry pursued them, and they can fight them there. And then the blue is half of Mermet's 1st Cavalry Division. On my original painting lists that I shared, it might have been the vlog 1 or 2 of things I might need. I thought I was going to have to paint the whole of the division, but looking at the map and doing a bit of reading, it looks like that division was split, and the other half of the division would be off towards fighting the Spanish, which is off my table, so to speak. So there's going to be a little bit less that I need to paint for the game. So it does mean that you've got relatively equal amounts of cavalry, at least in terms of epic battles layout, and then in terms of the British outnumber the French in terms of battalions by maybe about 4 or 5, maybe 6, but the French are obviously defending as well. So I've tried to balance that a little bit, that the objectives are you need to take those towns and you need to take the bridge. As I said again, I'm not going to read you through the whole scenario that I've written at the moment. If anyone's interested, I'll either colour around a later one, or I'll put in a PDF or something and people have a little look. But the special rules are really is that the British have to try and capture those three things. It's 3 victory points for whoever's controlling them at the end of the game, and I'm treating each town as a building in terms of the building rules, and limited how many regiments can fit in each of those as well. So maybe they'll change hands at different points throughout the game, and then all of the usual kind of victory points for destroying units or making them broken, etc, 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 all within the standard black powder rules. So that's what I've been working on, and I think aside from play testing it myself, seeing whether it works, I think that's as far as I can go now. The table's ready, so I've just got an awful lot of painting to do really, but it was all good fun. It was all good fun sorting it out, and as I said, I've flicked some of the rules up on the screen as I'm chatting away. But if anyone is interested in it and would like to read it through, then I will happily share it. But it's very much a first draft at this moment in time. So that brings me back to painting and what I've been doing. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, it's been a lot slower than I expected. I think by now I'd planned to have had my British Heavy Dragoons tutorial out and done and been with you for a few days, and then maybe about well, 2 or 3 days from the point I'm recording this, which is the first of Feb. I think I thought I would have finished the French Dragoons, which was maybe I was going to do, but definitely some French heavies. I wanted to have 2 of those out this week, so the plan was 2 painting tutorials this first week in Feb, and then following up with this vlog maybe the week after. But it hasn't been possible with me being not so well, trying to do work still, wife trying to work a little bit as well, and then both boys off school stroke nursery as well, so it's been a little bit hectic, and my own hobby time has been non-existent. So this is my test stand before I did the painting tutorial. I have another stand all but painted apart from the officer. It was the officer I was going to be using for the painting tutorial is essentially the same apart from the stripe down the trousers, yeah, so these are based on Waterloo, thinking of what I'd need around that, Le Haye Saint and Erlon's attack and the cavalry charge afterwards. So it's the King's Dragoon Guards, or the first. I was going to potentially look at doing the King's German Legion for the Vittoria game I've just been talking about, but I think by that stage it still would have been in bicorns, and I have to decide whether I'm going to do a mass converting or I'm just going to let it go and paint them with the helmets and be done with it, which may be the case. I haven't decided yet, but I'm happy enough with the way they came out. It's when I've got a full spare evening. I think it takes me about 5 hours to kind of do a painting tutorial for a strip or one of these guys, maybe a little bit more for a strip, 5 or 6 hours of the total painting time, and then the editing time on top. I love doing it. I really love doing it. So this is in violin times, but as you can imagine, it's difficult to get that done when there's things going on at home like COVID in the house. And then moving forward, I suppose the plans for it will I will continue to put the painting tutorials out. That's absolutely something I want to do. I'm a commissioned painter. There's a lot of painting on the channel. That's very natural. You'll see far more of that than me talking about tactics and gameplay. It's just my natural fit, so to speak. But at the same time, I have to put a limit on how many there would be anyway. And I think I've said this before. I think I worked out that if I painted every single British and French thing that we know about that's coming out, I'm sure it's like close to 30 different sculpts, and that's without doing different regiments and things. So I don't think I will get 30 painting tutorials out for you. I think it would be, if that's all I did, that might be possible. But so I am going to have to pick and choose a little bit, and it may well be that it's well, he's painted that cavalry using red and using grey trousers, and the only difference is a little bit of facing here or there, or the helmet's slightly different, and sometimes you just transfer the skills over, that kind of thing. But I am going to try and do a smattering and doing it fairly even on both sides as it comes. So I'm hoping that the next video after this will be the painting tutorial for these dragoons. If it's not, it will be something that's just that little bit quicker and easier to do. And I also need to remember there are people, many people who have subscribed to this channel long before I started covering this game, and they're probably wondering when the next bolt action vlog update is, and painting tutorial for those, a little bit of Wars of the Roses and other things as well. So there will be other videos dropping, but I imagine it's probably going to be sort of like 4 Waterloo Napoleonic ones to like 1 of something else. So do bear with me. I'm still going to try and get a couple of videos out a week, and I imagine that a good chunk of those, at least 1 in 3, is likely to be a painting tutorial. So thank you very much for watching another vlog. Hopefully you're still enjoying the progress. It is a bit rambly. It is almost like a hobby diary for me as well as a vlog. So it's a little bit of note keeping for myself, so I can go back and check things, and just really sharing what I'm going through and what I'm planning. And I'm going to do the same as I've done with the little sort of mini section of Vittoria scenario with Waterloo as well. There's a really good Erlon's attack scenario in the new rulebook. I've now got hold of, thanks to Martin Seventh Son, I've now got hold of the La Haye Saint booklet from that 28mm starter set, which has got some scenarios around La Haye Saint in it, and I need to look at all of that, look at my table size, turn that into something that sort of resembles a similar plan that I can play a good sized game with lots of models on the table that gets the flavour of that part of the battle, while bending a few rules and things to make it all fit and work on a more of a regular game table size. So that will be a plan that I will do fairly soon as well. So I've got solid plans for both painting lists. Some stuff will cross over, like the King's German Legion. I can use them in both games. There will be some things that don't, but I will, try and make things cross over as much as possible, because that saves me work. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. Give us a like if you like the video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll catch you soon.